Choose life. Choose a career. Choose Enter to G. Never talked again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in Season 3 Reloaded, and there was some nerfs and some buffs to all the guns out there. So I'm not going to be dropping a top 5, a top 10, because to be honest with you, there's still not a lot to pick from. So without further ado, let me show you and explain what's going on. So I see 4 guns that are definitely ranking high here. I've got the ISO Hemlock. It received a nerf, but this gun still beams. And for it beaming, it still is my #1 pick and go-to gun. Pairing this with the MP5, which I think is much better than the Vaznev. Personal preference for some people, but for the MP5, much better. I rock this for all of my secondary guns on all my top 4 loadouts. Next, we have the Cronon Squall, which is an absolute TTK beast. However, it's got that recoil that you got control compared to the ISO. So for those long distance engagements where the recoil is a lot harder, the ISO is definitely going to be popping it better unless you can handle that recoil. Then you have the Castle 762, a very good gun, and will beat the ISO Hemlock between that 45 and 60 meter range. But other than that, the ISO pips it again, and also the Castle 762 has a bit of recoil to manage. So once again, ISO still my top gun. Then we have an LMG, the RAW, which has probably got the highest TTK out of all the guns here, and it does fry, but also once again has a bit of recoil that you guys have got control. And that is it. Those are the 4 top guns. So without further ado, let's check them out. So for the ISO and the MP5, the ISO, we rock the Harbinger D20, Fielder T50, the SZ Recharge DX. I don't go with the aim up, I prefer the way this looks, but they're pretty much identical. They have the same pros and cons, so either or for personal preference. The F-Tac Ripper 56 underbarrel and the 45 round mag. Tuning this to Harbinger, we have 1.4 plus for recoil smoothness and 0.81 for bullet velocity. For the barrel, we have plus 0.5 for recoil steadiness and plus 0.26 for damage range. For the scope, we have far at minus 1.95 and minus 1.06 down towards ADS. We do want to have a little bit of flinch, so in terms of if we're getting in those engagements, we are not going to flinch and get some idle movements away with the gun. So by having that flinch means we stay on target a lot better. And the F-Tac Ripper 56 for that recoil stabilization at 0.8 positive and aiming idle stability at 0.41. Checking this out in the range. So as you all know, I'm just a controller, I don't use PC. As you can see, it's quite a nice scope. ADS is not that quick, but we're not worried about that. But as you can see, this gun literally beams. 50% accuracy. This can go up even more if we take our time. So there's 75%, still 66.7. So as you get further afield, 66.7 at a long distance shows you that this gun is damn good. And then we pair this with the MP5. The MP5, I run the L38 Falcon 226mm, the Schlager laser, the Recoil 56 factory stock, the Lachmann TCG10 and the 40 round mag. For tuning this, I have recoil steadiness at 0.15 plus and damage range at 0.25 for the barrel. For the laser, if we can get up there, we have minus 0.48 for sprint to fire and hip fire accuracy minus 36.19. Then we have the stock as so, minus 4 for ADS and minus 1.55 for aim walking speed. And for the Lachmann TCG rear grip, we have minus 0.55 for ADS and minus 0.36 for sprint to fire. And in the range, this gun is very quick. It nicely moves around. And it literally does. The recoil on this is very good. For 54.55 for accuracy, I'm liking this. You know, even setting on there, a little bit more wiggle at the top, so it does drop. But for these, look, from here to 5 meters, damn good. This gun's gonna be flying. And even up to the 10-15 meter mark, still pretty good. Now also watch this. I've built it so it's good for hip fire, because sometimes you're gonna go around corners and you're not gonna be aiming all the time. So you want to drop around, take that first shot, fire, and then log in, and you totally miss. Let's do that again for you guys. As you can see, stops moving there, bang, straight on. Lovely. I use this gun for every single one of my other loadouts as secondary. so we won't have to cover that again. Now for the Cronin Squall, super TTK, as we said, close to mid-range, this gun fries. So for this we have the Polar Fire S, the F-Tac Ripper, high velocity 50-round mag, and the Cronin Mini Pro. So tuning in the Cronin Mini Pro, we have it at fire -2.25 and ADS -2.03. High velocity tuned at +0.7 for damage range and +9 for bullet velocity. Then the F-Tac Ripper up for recoil stabilization 0.46 and aiming idle stability 0.23. And then Polar Fire S, recoil smooth at 1.08 and bullet velocity at 1. And if we head into the driving range, for my close range, this is not moving and the same. But as you can see, accuracy is still not good, even though we're frying here. And then furrow field, it does have a bounce. See, it kicks right up at the end. But if you're aiming at the body, it's going to go towards the headshot, so you're going to get a fast TKK as well. But much easier to manage when it's closer. It just kicks up at the top, so you might want to tap it for those long range engagements. Or if you want, you can adjust it slightly back on the old scale here for recoil smoothness. Push that up on both F-Tac Ripper and Polar Fire, and will help a little bit more with the bullet velocity. And also, if you want, you can do recoil smoothness down here as well if you're struggling. Same thing here. As you can see, for all my attachments, I run smoke and drill charge, and we run overkill, double time, fast hands, and ghost. The reason why we run ghost now is because UAVs are now unlimited to buying in the AshikaIsland and our Mazrah. You guys don't want to be called out, so I do rock an ISO MP5 for high alert if it's a end game situation. Still drop in, get my loadout, then I will rock this. But other than that, I always run ghost. Next up, we have the Castoff 762, F-Tac Ripper, TLR Talon, the CAS-10 584mm bar barrel, the SZ Recharge DX, and the 40-round mag. This is tuned as so. Recoil smoothness maxed out at 1.4, bullet velocity at 0.32. The barrel itself is maxed out, recoil stability at 0.5, damage range at 0.31. The F-Tac Ripper under barrel, recoil stability at 0.8, and aiming idle stability at 0.4, so both maxed out. And the scope -9, 1.95 for far and 1.06. And for this gun is good. You know, some of the pros like Metaphor will be rocking this gun, you know, instead of using the ISO. It is good. However, once you see here on the far distance, it needs to be tapped. If you go for the keeping your trigger down, so here, easy peasy, super easy to control. It does have a kick and it goes slightly over to the right. So you really want to just tap it for those long range engagements, unless you can manage the recoil nicely. Whereas me, for myself, I just tap, a couple of taps and you're downed. So perfect. Same setup as this, smoke, drill charge, and the same perk patch, overkill, ghost. Then we have the RAL. This we run the SA side grip, the F-Tac Reaper, the 21-inch AXF Rhino barrel, the SZ hollow firm, and the STIP 40 grip. This one we tune it as such. The F-Tac Ripper is 1.4 for recoil smoothness and 0.23 for bullet velocity, because this gun already has a damn good bullet velocity range. For the grip, we have aiming idle stability at +0.14, should I say, and +0.8 for recoil stabilization. The barrel, we have recoil steadiness at plus all the way maxed out, and damage range at 0.28. For the grip, we have recoil steadiness at +1 and aiming idle stability all the way maxed out. And for the scope, we have -1.06 and 1.5 for far. And in the range, notice we're having the firm on here, because this is all paired to the fact that we're going to be re-rocking smokes and resupplies, so we can shoot people through the smoke. And as you can see there, this gun fries. It takes a long time to reload, which is a right pit killer, but a couple of shots on the body and shoot people through smokes is pretty good. As you can see here, it's a little bit nasty at range. It's kind of like the recoil just bounces it out and you get missing quite a lot of shots. And this is the gun max up. This is why it's, in my mind, not the best gun to be using, but incredibly good for something like ranked play. And you have to feather trigger that thing at the end again. However, on this one you notice I do rock this with the resupply, so it works nicely with smokes and drill charge. And it's a slow moving game, so slow moving gun if you want to post up and round. And that, guys, is pretty much it. You don't need to go through these other ones. These are all just secondaries and other things, but these are the top 4 guns. And trust me, there's nothing else to be touching. The Lakma 556, there's got recoil on it. The ISO, no recoil. So what do you use? The ISO. And then the Chronon for if you can control it for the fastest TTK, and the 7.62 mid-range, easy to use gun, does cover slightly better for the ISO in that 45 to 60 meter range, and the rail that just dominates across all ranges if you can land those shots and can control its recoil. And this is built to have the best recoil control there is, but as you can see, for those further distance, much harder. For the close range, super easy. So guys, ladies, loved you liking. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I shall see you in the next video.